Welcome to Murfreesboro Rock School, helping kids one power chord at a time. This is the fourth and final video in our Introduction to Reading Rhythms section of our music theory course. A course that's a part of our video library that covers a lot of other great topics as well. So far we've covered whole notes, half notes, quarter notes, eighth notes, 16th notes, how to read those notes, the rests that go along with them, when you see the rest, how not to play, how to count out a measure, how to subdivide beats. We've gotten a lot of ground covered. The last kind of note that we're going to talk about is the dotted note. Now you can put a dot in front of any note. In this example right here, we have a dotted quarter note. Actually, we've got two of them. What that dot means, the dot is asking you to extend the length of the original note for half of the value of the original note. So, kind of put that in a different phrase, the quarter note gets one beat. This dot says, okay, that beat's already there. Now, take half of this value, which would be half of a beat, and add that to this already existing beat. So now, instead of had it just been a single quarter note, getting one beat, it gets a beat and a half. And you see it spaced out here. We've got the quarter note, the dot added to it adds the extra half a beat. Then we pick up here, we have another dotted quarter note. So we've got the quarter note, one beat, and then the dot adds an extra half a beat. And then we've got our final beat. Keep in mind that a beat and a beat and a half is going to add up to 3 beats. So we only have one beat left in our measure. So we throw a quarter note in there that fits nicely. We could have put 2 eighth notes or 4 16th notes, as long as the total value adds up to 4 beats. So let's listen to this, and we're going to count to it and listen to how this sounds. Here we go. One, oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to start that over again. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. Try it one more time. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. Hopefully that makes sense. We're going to do a few other examples. We're going to go up in size for a second. Just delete that whole measure out. We're going to do a dotted half note this time. Now, if a quarter note, when dotted, which is what I just put down, when a quarter note is dotted, it adds up to a beat and a half. Well, using the same way that we discovered that, go ahead and toss a quarter note in here at the end. Let me space this out a little bit better so that our notes line up. There we go. Okay, just as a dotted quarter note took half of the quarter note and added it to it, a half note is 2 beats. So if we then add to those 2 beats half of the original note, half of 2 beats would be 1 beat. So our half note gets 2 beats, and then this means add an extra beat. So this dotted half note is going to last 3 beats, and then we have beat 4. Let me hit play. I'm going to try and count. We'll see if I can get it on beat so we land right on 4. Here we go. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. All right, let's do another example. Let's look at the dotted eighth note. Now this gets pretty tricky to count out. We're going to put in a dotted eighth note here. We're going to put it on beat 1. Now keep in mind that since an eighth note gets half of a beat, half of a half would be a fourth. So you add a fourth of the beat to the already existing half beat, and we wind up with 3/4 of a beat. So if we put a few more of these in here, let's see, so that's 3/4 of a beat. That's 3/4 of a beat. So we're up to, oops, I didn't mean to do that. We're up to 1E and a 2E. Our next one's going to be here on the and of 2. So let's go ahead and put that in there. Then we're going to have another note following on the E of 3. We can add another one in. Let me go ahead and get these numbers spaced out for us real quickly. I'm going to go ahead and fill in a 16th note there at the end. Pop. Okay, so let's get this spaced out so it lines up correctly. 1E and, there's half of a beat, plus the eighth. So then our next note starts there. I'll try and do this a little bit more evenly. A, 2E, and a 3, E and a, 4E and a. So once again, we've got 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4E and a. So let's do this. Let's play it once and then I'll count it down. We've got, oop, let me take it from the top. Here we go. All right, now let's count this out. Here we go. We've got 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4E and a. It's a little bit tricky to count out. So each one of these is lasting 3/4 of a beat. There's 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 3/4 of a beat. Now that adds up to 3 3/4 beats. So we have a 16th note here to cap it off so that we have 4 beats in the measure. We could have put a 16th note rest there and just not had an extra note had we chosen to. All right, hopefully that clears up things for the dotted note. As soon as we start getting into some more complex melodies and rhythms, we'll see these combined in all sorts of different ways. Always check out MurfreesboroRockSchool.com, where you can find all of the other videos in this class, others, some other great material, and some great classes and services that we offer. Thanks a lot.